There are 3 ways for you to make real money. I don't mean salary, I don't mean 10, 20 million dong a month. I'm going to share with you 3 ways to make real money.
Hey Tom Peng, love what you're doing on your channel, buddy. Super congrats. You know, giving your time and energy to nonprofit business channel. Look, man, keep driving that audience. So Tom Peng, look forward to spending some time with you. I know you got the right mindset, so I'd love for you to share some of that from the big V. God bless, be great. 10X.
Money is important. Not everybody realizes that, because oftentimes when I ask people how much money you want to make, the young girls, the young boys, they tell me 5 million, 6 million, 10 million. If you watch my sales training, you see that from the salespeople themselves. They don't really want that much money. And then we ask them to think about the importance of money, because a lot of them don't really think about it. 5 million, 6 million, 10 million is enough for them to get by, to eat instant noodles, to live in their little tiny apartment. That's all they want. They just want a simple, comfortable, but very pitiful living. And I want them to think about things like their parents. In Vietnam, it's very common for children to send money back home into the countryside. And eventually one day, they are gonna get old. They're gonna get sick. And they're gonna need medical attention. Maybe they have cancer. And would you have enough money to give them the best care? Would you have enough money to give them the best chemotherapy for cancer? And that all takes money. If you're making 5, 6, 10 million dong a month, that is not going to happen. And the worst kind of tragedy is when you have to make that choice, that you can't pay for the treatment and they have to die. I don't want anybody to make that kind of choice. And in order for you to not make that kind of choice, you gotta have money. And also I want you to think about kids. I know a lot of young people don't think that far down the road, but I like to plan the long term, because all the rich, successful, wealthy people, they plan the long term. One day you're gonna get married to some fucking idiot, and you're gonna have idiot kids, and you wanna send them to good schools. You want to send them to maybe private school, English schools in District 7, District 2. Are you going to be able to do that? Are you going to be able to afford the 250 million dong a year tuition? Probably more. Bus fee, school fee, books. There's a lot of fees when you go to these type of schools. Are you going to be able to afford that? Certainly not on your 5, 6, or 10 million dong salary. That is not possible. If you make 10 million dong, this option is not available to you, and you won't even think about it. And your kids will certainly not have access to this kind of education. And of course, when you have money, you're going to be respected. Look at the people on this screen. Can you tell who they are? I think this is Vinamilk CEO, that's Elon Musk. One of them is Vietjet, I think. I'm not sure, but they're apparently famous here in Vietnam. When you have money, people know you, people respect you, and that is a good thing to have. Of course, you have travel, you get good food. You're not eating instant noodles. You have access to fine foods. Your beef tenderloin, your lobster, finest foods from around the world. You can travel to any destination in the world that you want. You have a lot of choices. When you don't have the money, all these things are not accessible to you. You see, freedom is an illusion. You think you are free, but when you have no money and you can't access these things, are you truly free? You're not as free as I am. You're not as free as somebody with more money. If you want to be free, you know what you have to do. With money, cars, and boats, you can buy boats here in Vietnam now. A lot of people don't even think about learning how to drive cars, because they know the money that they make, they will never be able to afford one of these. They don't even bother learning how to drive a car. But in reality, cars are cheap. You can buy a Mitsubishi Expander. It's about 600 or 700 million dong approximately. There are cheaper options, but if you're on 6, 10, 50 million dong salary a month, that ain't gonna happen for you. And ultimately, when you grow old, you want to have a great quality of life. My life is pretty good. My quality of life is awesome. I have all the greatest things possible. Anything I want, I just go get it. I have really great relationships with people. So how much money is enough? We need money to give the best care to our parents, our family, our kids, have the good things in life, drive a car, live in a nice apartment or a house or even villa. But how much money is enough? I would say it's around $10 million, which is about 230 T. But that's my standard. Maybe for you, it's $1 million. You're not gonna drive the Mercedes. You're not gonna live in a villa, but you can certainly live in a nice apartment. You can drive your Mitsubishi Expander, and you'll certainly be able to take care of everybody around you. And you can have a pretty good living, access to most of the things in life. So first million is, let's say your goal. That would be about 23 T Vietnamese dong. How are you gonna make that money? Let's pretend you are an engineer and you make, let's say, around 37 million dong, which is about average for a intermediate engineer. If you divide that into 23 million dong, it's gonna take you 621 months or 51 years to make that first $1 million or 23 T. Obviously, on a salary is not the way to make a lot of money. When I say make a lot of money, meaning money that can change your life. I don't mean 5, 10, 20 million dong. That cannot change your life. I don't even mean the 37 million dong because that cannot change your life. You're still limited by what you can do with that money. You have no freedom when you make this much money. How can we get out of this and make more money than this so that you can have as much freedom as I do, let's say? The question, how are you gonna ever make $1 million? For me, I can tell you that first million for me was so easy. And I know for most people it's extremely hard because if you look at the world, there's only about 20 million millionaires. And that's only like 0.002% of the population. It's not because people can't do it. It's because most people don't even want it. And they don't even try. Now I want to talk about 3 ways to make money. I thought about this over the last 30 years. If I were to tell people how to make a lot of money like Bill Gates, how can you do it? And really today I can offer you 3 ways. I don't mean gambling, that's stupid. I don't mean Bitcoin, that's gambling. I don't mean investing in real estate. You don't have the money to do it. I mean, what can you do? Anyone. What can anyone do to make this kind of money? I'm talking about million, 5 million, 10 million, 20 million, 30 million, 50 million, even $100 million. That's a lot of tea. That's a lot of Vietnamese dong. I'm talking about how can we get there. The 3 ways, let me tell you. Either you become an entrepreneur like me. You start your own business, you solve a problem in society. And if your problem is a big problem and your solution impacts billions of people, or even 1 million people, you're gonna make a lot of money. That's just the way it is. If you can come up with a solution to a problem and a lot of people, 1 million people benefit from your solution, and you get people to pay you for it, you're gonna make a lot of money. And that's what Bill Gates did. He invented Microsoft MS-DOS, Windows. The whole world is running his software. And he solved this very big problem. And now he's the 2nd richest person or the 3rd richest person in the world. So that's one way to do it. Become an entrepreneur. I don't mean like opening up a restaurant or a coffee shop. You can't make money with those things. There's a natural income ceiling with those kind of businesses. Basically, when you open up a coffee shop, basically you just gave yourself a job, which actually might help you lose money. Right? I mean, really looking at the society, finding a problem and solving it and helping a lot of people. And then you'll be like Bill Gates, you'll be like Elon Musk, you'll be like Steve Jobs. You'll be like those people that solve big problems. The bigger problem that you solve, the more money you will make. Not everybody is Bill Gates. Not everybody is Tom Peng. Not everybody can run businesses. Not everybody has the money to do it. Not everybody has the experience, the skill set, the determination. You need a lot of determination. When you run a business, you're working 16-hour days. You're working weekends. You don't have time for family. Not everybody can do that. What can you do? So one is entrepreneurship. Be like Bill Gates and make a lot of money. And the second way, let me tell you, is intrapreneurship. And that's the focus of today's topic, intrapreneurship. This word in Vietnam does not exist. I tried to look for the translation for the word intrapreneurship in Vietnamese, but it doesn't exist. Maybe the idea does not even exist in Vietnam. An intrapreneur is somebody who works inside a company. He has a job. Maybe this entrepreneur works in Bill Gates' company, works in Microsoft, but he's a key employee. He's one of the most important employees in that company. And he solves very big problems inside that company. And Bill Gates gives stocks to these employees, the key employees, the very important employees. And when the Microsoft company, when they IPO, they went on the stock exchange, they become $1 billion company. All these key people, they become millionaires. They become instant millionaires. They have $1 million worth of Microsoft stock that they can sell and turn into money. I want you to read this carefully. I know it's in English, but there's subtitle. Some analysts estimate, and thanks to the stock options, Microsoft had created 3 billionaires. That's Bill Gates and I believe Paul Allen. I don't know who the third person is. Steve Ballmer. That's right, Steve Ballmer. Bill Gates, Steve Ballmer, and Paul Allen, 3 billionaires. Microsoft created 3 billionaires and as many as 12,000 millionaires. There's actually 12,000 millionaires in Microsoft. And this is back in 2005. I hope you can read that. Right now, today, there's even more millionaires in Microsoft. Microsoft gives stocks to employees, the key ones. If the employee is not important, they don't give a shit. But if the employee is important enough, they will give a small portion of the company to the employee. And then when the stock price increases, that employee will make a lot of money. And that's how they end up with 12,000 millionaires. That's $1 million, 23T, back in 2005. So that's just one example. And let me give you a second one. Google, everybody knows this company, right? You do your Google searches. I don't know when this article was created, but here it says there are 1,000 Google employees whose stock grants and options are worth more than $5 million. So there's more than 1,000 employees working for Google, and they have more than $5 million in stock options, meaning that they can sell the stock and turn that into more than $5 million. And the funny part is when Google was a little company, when they just started, they hired a masseuse, like a massage girl. It's actually a girl. Her name is Bonnie Brown. She's a girl. She come into the company and massage people. Like people work hard, give them massage. And that massage person is actually one of those guys. She's worth more than $5 million because she was one of the early employees. I don't know why Google gave her stock options, stock grants, gave her stocks in the company. I don't know who she has to sleep with to get that, but she ended up with a lot of money because she owns a piece of the company. And when Google became an international company, makes tons of money, the stock is worth a lot of money, Bonnie Brown, the former Google massage girl, became a millionaire. Let's find another example. Everybody knows about Facebook. We all know this guy, Mark Zuckerberg. He is one of the top richest people in the world because he created Facebook, and Facebook changed the lives of billions of people around the world. Like I said, if you can solve a problem and impact, influence billions of people, you're gonna be a billionaire. And that's what Mark Zuckerberg did. But by creating Facebook, the company, they actually created a lot of millionaires. And today I'm gonna share with you some of them. One of them is her. She is Sheryl Sandberg. She is Mark Zuckerberg's right-hand woman. She's the second most powerful person in Facebook. and she owns 0.1% of Facebook. Only 0.1. Very tiny little bit of Facebook. She has no controlling power in Facebook, but she has 0.1% of the shares. And that share is worth about $88 million just by owning the Facebook stock. And let me show you another one. This guy is the Facebook VP of engineering. He's one of the top person in the engineering team, the team that created the Facebook. He stayed with the company. If he left the company, nothing. He's smart. He knew Facebook is going to be a big thing. He stayed as the VP of engineering. And today, he owns 0.11% of the stock. And that gave him about $98 million in value. If he were to sell his 0.1%, he would get about $98 million. How are you going to use $98 million? I can't even think of how. I'm going to buy a yacht. I'm going to buy 3 castles. I'm going to buy a jet. I'm going to buy 5 Lamborghinis. I don't know. You can't spend the money. It's just way too much. Mike, I can't say his last name, but Mike, Facebook VP of engineering, he stayed with Facebook. He was loyal to Facebook. As a result, he got stock, which now today is worth this much money. This is what entrepreneurs are. Entrepreneurs are people that stay inside the company, they're key people, and they make the company successful. And they get stocks, and that stock eventually will be worth a lot of money. You don't have to be an entrepreneur. You don't have to be the business owner, because being the business owner sometimes is very difficult. Sometimes if you don't know what you're doing, you might lose the money. But entrepreneurs don't have to take out their own money. Entrepreneurs basically just work for a company. They can make as much money as the entrepreneur. Do I have another example? The chief financial officer of Facebook, same idea here, owns 0.11% of stock. He's worth about $101 million. This guy plays the guitar, and his name is David Ebersman. If he, at the beginning of Facebook, left Facebook, he's fuck this company, I'm not gonna work here, and then left, he would not have this money. But because he stick with Facebook, he stayed with Facebook, he was loyal to Facebook, and he helped the company grow to its current size, he's worth that much. That's what entrepreneurs are. When you get company stock, it looks like this. So if you work for Microsoft and you get company stock, your stock looks like this. Today, you may not get this piece of paper because everything's electronic now. But in the old days, you would actually get a piece of paper like that. I want to share with you 3 ways to make a lot of money. When I say a lot of money, I don't mean money that cannot change your life. I mean money that can change your life completely. Give you much, much, much more freedom. Allow you to help family, kids, society, the environment, do whatever you want. Ultimately, that's what money is. Ultimately, having a lot of money means you're gonna have a lot of freedom. And today I share with you 3 ways. One is becoming your own boss, run your own business, but not everybody can do it. I assure you, not everybody can do it. And 2 is work for a company, be an entrepreneur. Make sure you work for a company that give you this. If they don't give you this, it cannot happen. My company does this. In fact, in this month, we will have launched our stock grant program. We want to give our key members this. We want to give them a portion of the company, a small portion, tiny little portion. So when we become a big success, when we IPO, when we become the biggest e-commerce company in Southeast Asia, when we're worth billions of dollars, and they can be worth millions of dollars. And that's my dream too. I want my employees to also prosper, to make a lot of money from our success. Now, the third way to make money is to find a job with no income ceiling. That is generally a sales job. You sell something, depending on how hard you work and depending on the ticket size, you can make a lot of money. That's what most people in sales don't know. They can make a lot of money. I know people that sells military weapons. They make a lot of money on commission. I mean, millions of dollars. It depends on what you do. You can make a lot of money in the e-commerce. You can make a lot of money in real estate, but you gotta be a good salesperson first. If you can't sell, it's not gonna work. 3 ways. Either be entrepreneur, your own boss, run a business, solve a society problem. 2, be an entrepreneur, work for a company. You don't have to risk your own money, but work hard, be a key person, the person that helped the company grow, and get stock grants. I like that way. That's the best way, I think, for most people. And the third way is become a master guru salesperson. Make the money based on your ability to sell products and services to customers, and you make commission. Because sales jobs generally don't have income ceilings. It depends on how good you are, how good you're at selling, and how many you sell. 3 ways. Again, I repeat. Start your own business, being an entrepreneur working inside a company, get stock grant, or a job with no ceiling. There's no other way. If you want to make tons of money, money that can change your life, there is really no other way. Nothing else can do it except these 3 ways. Okay? So take some fucking action, pick one of those 3 ways, and make it happen for you. Don't be a fucktard.